Echoes of the Inferno, the warehouse haunting. In the industrial district of a sprawling city, there stands an old, sprawling warehouse operated by the logistics company, Global Freight Solutions. The building, large and labyrinthine, has a troubled past. It was erected on the grounds of a former factory, which was gutted by a catastrophic fire decades ago, claiming numerous lives. The tragedy left an indelible mark on the area, a dark history that was often whispered about but rarely confronted. The night shift crew at the warehouse is a tight-knit group, accustomed to the quiet and solitude of their nocturnal work. However, things begin to change when inexplicable occurrences start to disrupt the nightly routine. Boxes shift and move as if of their own accord. Strange noises echo through the vast spaces, and the lights flicker and dim without reason. At first, these phenomena are dismissed as quirks of the old building, but as they intensify, a chilling realization dawns on the crew. The warehouse might be haunted. Intrigued and unnerved, a couple of the workers delve into the history of the site. They uncover the story of the factory fire, learning about the lives lost in the blaze. The more they learn, the more the disturbances seem to escalate, as if the act of remembering has awakened something. The atmosphere in the warehouse grows increasingly tense and eerie. The crew starts to experience vivid, terrifying hallucinations, visions of flames, the sound of distant screams, and spectral figures moving in the periphery of their vision. Fear and paranoia begin to take root. A prevailing theory emerges among the crew. The spirits of the fire victims are restless and angry, seeking recognition or retribution. The workers become obsessed with finding a way to appease these spirits, believing it to be the only way to restore peace and ensure their safety. As the hauntings reach their peak, rational thought gives way to hysteria. Accusations fly. Some workers blame others for exacerbating the spirits' unrest. Others claim to communicate with the spirits, receiving cryptic messages and demands. The warehouse becomes a crucible of fear, suspicion, and supernatural terror. The situation reaches a tragic climax one fateful night. A standoff occurs, with workers turning on each other, driven by fear, madness, and supposed supernatural directives. The confrontation is chaotic and violent, ending in a calamity where no one survives. The warehouse is left silent, the echoes of the conflict fading into the night. In the aftermath, the warehouse is abandoned, sealed off by the authorities. Stories and rumors circulate about the cursed place where the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred. The building stands as a somber monument to the tragic events of the past and the present, a place where restless spirits and human folly converge with fatal consequences. The Haunting of Street Margarets, the Eternal Janitors. In the quaint town of Oakwood, there lies an old, imposing structure known as Street Margaret School. It has stood for over a century, its history rich and complex. The school, now only operational during the day, has recently hired a new night janitor, David, a man seeking a fresh start after a series of personal setbacks. David's first few nights at Street Margaret's are uneventful, but he soon starts noticing peculiar occurrences. Doors creak open on their own, lights flicker in empty classrooms, and mops and buckets move as if guided by an invisible hand. Initially, David dismisses these happenings as quirks of the old building. However, as the events grow more frequent and more pronounced, he can't shake off the feeling that something is amiss. Curiosity piqued, David begins researching the school's history. He learns about a former janitor, Mr. Harold Jenkins, who mysteriously vanished decades ago. No one knows what happened to him, but rumors suggest he was deeply devoted to the school, often working late into the night. As David delves deeper, the school begins to change. The corridors elongate and contort, staircases lead to dead ends, and rooms rearrange themselves. He realizes with horror that the school is alive, its very structure influenced by the spirit of Mr. Jenkins. Night after night, David tries to leave, but the school's layout continuously shifts, trapping him within its walls. The line between reality and illusion blurs as he encounters ghostly students and phantom classroom scenes from different eras of the school's history. Whispered conversations and spectral laughter fill the halls, creating an eerie symphony of the past. In a desperate attempt to escape, David confronts the spirit of Mr. Jenkins. He discovers that Jenkins' spirit has merged with the school, becoming its guardian and keeper. Jenkins reveals that he was betrayed and wrongfully accused of a crime he didn't commit, leading to his disappearance. His love for the school turned into an obsession, binding him to it for eternity. David, exhausted and defeated, realizes too late that his fate is sealed. The spirit of Mr. Jenkins, seeking a companion in his eternal vigil, has chosen David as his successor. As days pass, David feels his own spirit merging with the school. His memories begin to fade, replaced by a profound attachment to Street Margaret's. The story culminates in a chilling final, where David fully becomes part of the school, another ghostly presence wandering the halls. He maintains the building, now a part of its haunting as much as Mr. Jenkins. Street Margaret School continues to operate, oblivious to the spectral guardians within its walls. David and Mr. Jenkins watch over it, lost souls bound to the brick and mortar, forever maintaining and preserving their beloved school. Whispers of the Cursed Library. Amelia had always felt a special connection to books. It was that connection that had drawn her to the position of librarian at the historic Wickerwood Library, nestled in a quiet corner of a picturesque town. But on this fateful night, her passion for books would take her on a journey into darkness she could never have imagined. As the clock's hands crept past midnight, Amelia sat alone in the dimly lit library, engrossed in cataloging a collection of ancient tomes. The books whispered to her, their pages filled with secrets and stories untold. She had heard tales of strange occurrences in the library, but dismissed them as mere rumors. It began with a soft, almost imperceptible whisper, a voice that seemed to emerge from the very pages of the books. At first, Amelia thought it was her imagination, but the whispers grew louder and more insistent. She couldn't discern the words, but the urgency behind them sent shivers down her spine. As the night wore on, the library's atmosphere changed. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, and faint apparitions flitted among the bookshelves. Amelia, her curiosity piqued, started delving into the library's history. She discovered that the whispers and apparitions were linked to a former librarian, Eleanor Gray, who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Amelia dug deeper. She learned of a secret collection of cursed books hidden in a sealed chamber deep within the library's labyrinthine catacombs. These books, she realized, were the source of the malevolent presence that haunted the library. Desperate to free the library from its curse, Amelia ventured into the catacombs. In the chamber, she found the forbidden collection, its books exuding an aura of malevolence. But as she tried to remove them, a chilling revelation struck her. The cursed books fed on human souls. Eleanor Gray's spirit, she realized, had been bound to the library as a guardian, ensuring a constant supply of souls to sustain the cursed collection. Horrified and determined to break the curse, Amelia attempted to destroy the books by setting them ablaze. The flames engulfed the cursed tomes, but instead of banishing the malevolent presence, they unleashed it. The room filled with spectral figures, their eyes filled with hunger. In a horrifying twist, they turned their attention to Amelia, realizing that she was the source of fresh souls. Amelia tried to flee, but the spirits were relentless. They overwhelmed her, tearing her soul from her body. She became one of them, a guardian of the cursed collection. As the library's newest spectral librarian, she would spend eternity feeding the insatiable hunger of the books. The library, now tainted by an even darker presence, continued to lure unsuspecting souls into its depths, perpetuating the cycle of haunting and horror. Amelia's existence became one of torment, trapped within the endless pages of cursed knowledge, forever bound to the Wickerwood Library.